So, for all of you sci-fi fans out there, we thought we'd tackle a film that really digs into some serious societal questions, Elysium.
Yeah, it's a powerful one for sure.
Absolutely. Elysium throws us into the year 2154, where, Earth is basically this overpopulated, resource-strapped place, and the wealthy have, escaped to this luxurious space station called, of course, Elysium. And that right there is where our debate starts, right? This stark contrast, it's like a giant visual metaphor for the gap between the haves and the have-nots.
Exactly. I mean, you see Earth and it's all kind of, dilapidated, struggling, and then you cut to Elysium and it's like this pristine paradise with advanced technology that literally solves all their problems. It makes you think, is that where we're headed? Two completely separate worlds.
It's almost like, we're seeing a glimpse of that separation already, right? Maybe not with space stations, but you see it in these like gated communities, the rising cost of living, the struggle for access to basic necessities, healthcare even. It's like Elysium just takes those trends and kind of cranks them up to 11.
It does. It really makes you think about, like, the breaking point. At what point does that gap become so huge that there's no coming back?
Yeah. It's a bit unnerving, to be honest. And speaking of unnerving, let's talk about the medical technology they have in Elysium, the med bays. They can literally cure anything from diseases to injuries, even aging. But of course, it's only for the Elysium citizens.
Right. And that's where the whole ethical dilemma comes in. This life-saving technology is right there. It could benefit everyone, but it's locked away as a privilege for a select few.
It's almost cruel in a way. Imagine knowing that a cure for your illness exists, but it might as well be on another planet because you can't access it. It makes you question, what's the point of all this progress if it doesn't benefit all of humanity?
Yeah, I mean, are we really advancing as a society if we're leaving so many people behind?
Exactly. And this brings us to the whole idea of freedom in Elysium. On Earth, people are tracked by their circumstances, poverty, lack of opportunity. Their freedom is basically non-existent.
Exactly. Freedom isn't just about being able to do what you want. It's about having the means, the resources to actually make choices. On Earth, they don't even have that basic level of freedom.
Yeah, it's like their lives are predetermined by the circumstances they're born into. And then you have Max, this guy who's literally fighting for his life to reach Elysium. For him, it's not just about a better life. It's about breaking free from this predetermined fate.
And his story really makes you think about how we define freedom. Is it just the absence of constraints, or is it about having the opportunity to actually live a full life, to reach your potential?
Right. And Elysium doesn't shy away from showing the consequences of this kind of division. You see this us versus them mentality develop, and the elites become so detached, so afraid of losing their privilege that they'll do anything to maintain it.
Absolutely. Like that character, Jessica Delacourt, the Secretary of Defense, she's so cold, so ruthless in her pursuit of keeping Elysium separate. It's like a perfect example of how extreme inequality can distort your worldview.
And it's not hard to see how this could all lead to, disaster, right? The resentment, the desperation on Earth. It's a ticking time bomb. It's like Elysium is saying, you can't ignore inequality forever. It'll come back to bite you.
Yeah, it's a cautionary tale in a lot of ways.
So Elysium really throws a lot at us. This intense visual representation of inequality, this unsettling question of who benefits from technological advances and what freedom even means in a world like that.
It definitely makes you think, doesn't it?
For sure.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, are we on a path to something like Elysium? What role will technology play in all of this? Will it help bridge the gap, or will it just widen it further? And ultimately, what can we do now to ensure that everyone has a chance at a good life, a fair shot? It's a question worth pondering.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time.
See you next time.